Hi everyone! This is my little video to show you my painting of a mouse right from the start to the end. So if you've watched my last few painting videos, you will be aware that I was taking part in a painting challenge, and the challenge was to paint every day or every weekday for 3 weeks through November. Unfortunately, I only made it to day 4 and I only completed 3 paintings due to hurting my wrists. So I have saved this footage and I'm posting one video each Friday to show you my 3 paintings. So this is the second painting. If you haven't seen the first one, I'll pop a link in the description below. Now, I've been collecting frames when I see them in shops, some old frames, and I thought that this one would be really easy to remove the back because I thought it was just taped on. It actually was stapled in place. Please don't copy what I'm doing because this definitely isn't the safest way. Unfortunately, once I'd removed that back, I found that the inside was also stapled in place. This does mean that when I put my own painting into this frame, I'm not really sure how I'm going to fix it in place, but we'll see. So I used the piece of board from the frame to work out what size I needed on my canvas paper. I stuck it down. I'm not actually using artist tape here. I'm using some packaging tape, some parcel tape that's made out of paper, but it seems to work pretty well. One thing I haven't tried yet is actually removing the painting from the board, so I hope that it will remove easily, but I'll wait until the painting's dry and then I'll let you know. So the themes that I could choose from for the week were, let me think, were grey, fruit and metal, I think was the other theme. So for this painting I decided to go with the theme grey. I'd used some raw sienna acrylic primer for the underpainting and I just kind of simply blocked in the shapes and then I painted in some of the shadowy areas. The little mouse that I decided to paint sits on top of my grandfather clock and I just think that she's a really lovely little mouse and she wears a grey dress, which is why I chose to paint her. So when it was time to start adding some colour, I used my colour mixing book, which I find so helpful. It is the Colour Mixing Companion by Julie Collins, and I had a little look through to select the colours that I wanted, and it explains which paint colours to use and to mix together. So cobalt blue, burnt sienna and cadmium yellow medium. I've bought all of the paints that are listed in this book so that I know that I can make all of the colours that are shown. I did this when I decided to switch to using water mixable oil paints, so I only bought the colours that are mentioned in the book. I bought no extra ones. I noticed at this point that I'd already put some cadmium yellow on my palette and then I put some more on, but thankfully it didn't go to waste. I used it later. I find the book incredibly helpful because I find colour mixing really tricky, but this really has given me so much more knowledge about how to make different colours of paint, so I would really recommend the book. It's brilliant. I'd be interested to know if any painters are watching. Do you draw onto your canvas first or do you just paint straight on? Because I didn't draw my mouse first, I painted on with the raw sienna paint, which I prefer because I don't really like using pencil first and I don't know why. But yeah, do you draw in pencil first, or do you use something completely different, pen? Or I've heard some people using charcoal, but I'm not sure if that's when they're painting or if it's when they're using a different medium. But I'd be really interested to know the different ways that people start their paintings. I found the shoes quite difficult to paint. I was using quite a small paintbrush, but I maybe would have benefited from using an even smaller one. At this point, I decided to add some of the shadows in. I was painting on an evening and the lighting in my house is quite dark. So I was painting this painting quite quickly because I was finding it difficult with the lighting. So I, at this point, decided that after I'd painted the eyes and the nose, that I would go to painting the background and then I could come back to it the next day if I felt like it needed it. So for the background, I just used some white mixed with some of the colours that were already on my palette. I thought that by doing that it would mean that the colours would go nicely together. With this being water mixable oil paint, it does take a little while to dry, so that does mean that the mouse was still wet. So I was being really careful whilst I was doing the edges around the mouse because I didn't want to smudge the paint. So this is what my finished painting looks like. As you can see, I have 3 paintings here that are all drying. Once they're dry, I do have some varnish that I'm thinking of using over the painting, but I've got no experience at all at using varnish. So I am a little bit nervous about using it, but I'll wait until they're completely dry and then I'll maybe make a video to show how that goes. And we'll also see if I can get that tape off so that I can get the paintings into their frames. Thank you so much for watching. There will be another painting video next week and hopefully a doll's house video on Wednesday next week, and it'll be lovely to see you there.